So, do you have your earplugs? Because you're gonna need them.
Oh my god.
What?
I don't know, you're like, I don't know, your canned intros or something are
They're not canned. I was legitimately going to ask that next. I just so happened to press record.
and like turn on your podcast voice. Like
my podcast voice.
I don't know, like not exactly like voice, but maybe just like tone or something, you know. The way you were talking before pressing record and the way you were talking after pressing record, they vary.
Yeah, because I was upset before I pressed record.
Oh yeah, now you're happy?
I have to be.
And then I started talking and then you're unhappy.
Well,
definitely Melissa and I need to remember to bring earplugs because yes,
Yeah.
I will need them.
Yeah.
I
remember you made a comment at some point that you didn't like when people drove by and like their music was so loud that it rattled your windows.
Yeah.
Well, who is texting me? Okay, it's nobody. Well, this is gonna be like that times 10 because your whole body will be rattled.
Well, I think there is a slight important distinction of like I don't like someone. It's not like I dislike it because I'm rattled and it's loud. It's like I dislike it because it's like I feel like disruptive and inconsiderate. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be. You can be rattled all you want, but don't rattle me. Whereas like this is a mutual place. This is a sanctuary of rattle. And so I mean I can't say if I'll enjoy it or not, but I'm not gonna be like I'm upset. Like like I'm going to be at the front row asking them to turn it down.
Could you imagine? Oh my God. You like in the you in the pit. Oh my God. Just catching elbows.
I need a buddy if I was in the pit.
It would not be me.
Yeah.
I might get Melissa to do it. She might.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I mean, tell me the basic stats you need to be in the pit.
Stats?
Yeah, like PC requirements. What are the what kind of graphics card do you need to survive the pit?
I mean, survive, that's a whole other thing, but the only requirement to get in the pit is willingness to be in the pit.
No. We're talking survival. I want to get in the pit and I also want to get out of the pit. Yeah. I don't want to get in the pit and never come back, you know?
Yeah. Well, okay, from my limited knowledge of being in the pit, I mean, it really is just kind of like an open space, and people are just like pushing each other back and forth in and out of the pit. You might have a circle pit, and that's basically where everyone's just running in a circle. And I mean, unless you just like you fall down and get stepped on, you're probably not going to get hurt. And if you do fall down, somebody is going to pick you back up.
What if I get in the pit? What if I like enjoy it, you know?
That would make me so happy.
Really?
I'd probably be able to see you too because I'll be on the balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think like the likelihood of that is, but I'm thinking back to my church days in Virginia. Now you'd think of church, you don't think of pit. Mm-hmm. But let me tell you, my youth group, it was a big church, it was a big youth group. It went hard. There was a pit, and I want to say I may have gotten a bruise or two, you know, like high schoolers, middle schoolers, some college kids. It was rowdy. I'm trying to think of any more details, though. I don't think the pit wasn't necessarily my thing. It was more I was dragged into it because of like my friends, or you know, I was younger, a bit more wild.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, probably. I think there's a fun sense of like community to it, you know, just like yeah.
Exactly.
So I can get behind that.
Basically the things you have to watch out for are again elbows. People might be kicking. You might have some crowd killers, which are basically it's a no in the pit. The goal isn't to hurt people, it's just to kind of be rowdy, you know? And also if there is a wall of death, which is basically two lines of people running into each other at full speed.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
No.
That's kinda...
Yeah, you might get hurt.
Why? That just sounds like football or something. Like
basically. But no padding.
Yeah. And no ball.
Yeah. Oh, another thing you're gonna have to look out for. I mean, you probably won't be standing near the front just because I don't advise it because it is your first time. But you might have to look out for people crowd surfing, which, I mean, you know what that is.
So you can get hit in the head.
Yeah, with a foot like I did on my birthday, right up here. It wasn't fun. It didn't hurt that much, but, you know, it was kind of unpleasant. But I was standing at the very front, so, you know, I kind of... Thankfully, I didn't have to, like, hoist anybody, because I don't think I could carry a...
Your little noodle arms.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, I had to lift those cameras at my new job. They're so heavy. They are so heavy.
Well,
and they're like
10 pounds?
I mean, I don't know, but if you're holding them up for a long time, they're going to be heavy.
Yeah.
And also, I had to take pictures, and we have, like, you know those Canon lenses where they're, like, about that big and they're, like, tan?
Sure, yeah.
They're also very heavy. So, yeah. Anyway.
A lens?
Yeah.
Are you holding it for a long time?
No, not particularly, but it's just heavy. I mean...
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I got you. Do you, what is it? This is just on my mind a little bit, but do you listen to podcasts?
I think I did when I was younger. I had I currently have fits and starts with listening to podcasts. Oh man, the first podcast that I don't know if you want me to like get into it, but you did ask, so this is on you.
I didn't want the full Wikipedia lore, a history of Arin's podcast consumption. I was just like, do you listen to them?
Well, I was gonna tell you.
No, you weren't.
Anyway, the first podcast that I listened to, I was I think like in the 6th grade. It was the Yog Pod, which was the Yogscast's podcast, which I think only lasted up until like 2013, but some good memories there. Creature Talk, which was the Creatures podcast. Love that. Oh man, I was listening up until the very end. Well, I was listening up until James left, to be completely honest. And then this is my toxic trait. I used to listen to the Joe Rogan Experience, but only when other comedians were on. I didn't care about the
That's
sports.
Your toxic trait.
Yes.
I think one, that's not a toxic trait. Two,
that's not my actual toxic trait.
Yeah.
But anyway, I only listened to when like other comedians were on because I don't care about science or scientists or
Scientology.
I think I listened to the Leah Remini one. She was on the Joe Rogan Experience. That was pretty interesting.
Is that how you say her name?
Leah Remini?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Let's see. I used to listen to the Your Mom's House podcast. I started on and off again. And then, let's see, Bill Burr's podcast I would listen to pretty regularly. And I mean, I listened to Serial when that was popular, and I re-listened to it recently because Anand Syed got out of prison. And then there's this other podcast called S-Town that I listened to mainly just because it took place in Alabama. I was like, ooh, Alabama thing. And
okay, so back to my question. Do you currently listen to podcasts?
I mean, on and off. I was listening to this podcast called The Trojan Horse Affair. I haven't finished it. It's a really interesting piece of journalism, but yeah, I not really. Okay. I listen to our podcast because I'm editing it. So technically, yes.
I feel like personally, this is just kind of an aside. This isn't my point, but personally, if you're making a podcast, you should be listening to podcasts.
I mean,
learn the craft.
Learn the craft.
Yeah, learn the craft.
Talking into a microphone.
Yes.
Okay. Is this a review? Is this my performance review?
Yeah, you're getting demoted.
Wow.
No
longer the producer.
No, the reason I ask is, well, I guess when you did listen to them, how long were they? I know Joe Rogan's can be pretty lengthy.
Yeah, but usually the ones where you had just like other comedians on, they wouldn't really get over 2 hours unless it was.
Well, see, that's the thing. Do you know how much like what shocks me is like how much like range apparently podcasts can be, because I mostly listen to like just from like Last Stand Media, and theirs are annoyingly long where it's like somewhere anywhere between 3 to 5 hours
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah.
And but then I guess I told you this before the recording, but like I'm working helping like record a podcast, and like
Mm-hmm.
they're they've done 2 episodes, or I've helped with 2 episodes. One was 45 minutes, the other one was 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy was like, this is the length, this is how you keep their attention. I'm like, 30 minutes, like I can't even.
I think it's really dependent on what kind of podcast you have.
Yeah,
Because I feel like the more conversational types, they can go on for very long. But if you're like really structured, or you're like trying to present a story, then having each episode be super long probably isn't the best. And I don't know what kind of podcast this is. So.
It seems like it's just conversational, like a little structured, like they have some topics planned, but like not terribly structured. And like maybe like, what is it? It's on my mind because it's like I'm doing it. We're recording something right now. Right now, live. Like listening to someone else do a podcast, like I guess live, was kind of interesting, and they had interesting topics, but I got annoyed internally.
Yeah.
No, I told him off as we were recording. Because it was basically, it's like a 45-50 minute podcast where they're only spending like 10 minutes or less per topic. And so it's like, it feels like right as the conversation's starting, right as you're maybe like getting a little, like digging a little deeper, or getting to like some depth or some nuance, they're like, oh, so what about this? No, you just completely switch. And I'm like, I'm left there hanging. Like, I wanted you guys keep talking about this for another 30 minutes, you know? But then like, what is it? I think like talking about the length of them, you know, I'm used to like 2 hours minimum. But then like Melissa tells me it's like, oh yeah, some of mine are like 30 minutes or so. And then I talked to Sam, who so far, when I say I'm helping with the podcast, I mean I am helping.
Do I get to oof his name?
No, not really.
Okay.
Well, so what is it? When I say I'm helping, I mean I'm helping, and Sam's doing all the work.
You're assisting.
Yeah. That's the I don't know, the cool way to say it. He'll be like, hey, can you like wiggle that knob a little bit? And I'll be like, yeah, and he'll be like, thanks. And that's my job for the day.
Assisting.
Yeah.
And you're probably gonna put that as on your resume as I twisted knobs.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, Sam, like I think I talked to him after the fact, and he was like, oh yeah, most of mine are like 30 minutes, and he was like, some get really long and they're like an hour. And I was like, I think I chuckled, and I was like, bro, an hour. But anyway,
also I would assume that they're probably not gonna be very long, because they probably have to pay by the hour.
Well, I looked through their old stuff before, like, just because I kind of wanted to know what podcast it was before working on it. No, actually, I wanted to know how long they were before, because I was working on a Saturday, and I was like, this sucks. But I wanted to know how long I was going to be away from home, and then I looked, and most of them were like 30 minutes to an hour or less. Some went a little long, but most of them not. But anyway,
so who edits them?
That's the thing. It probably no editing that I know of.
So it's all very, like, I don't know, produced, I guess.
A little bit, yeah. So, well, what's cool about the studio is that it's audio and video.
Oh, so it's both. Okay.
I think if you want that, and then with like the I don't know, the tech and the software they have, they like edit it live, at least the video portion of it. So I guess kind of
like a switchboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Switching between the cameras, and then I think I would assume if you wanted to, you could still edit it after the fact. But that's what I guess Sam and I are supposed to be doing, so that you don't have to do that after the fact.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But what is it? There's something, I think this wasn't like what I forgot before the battery died. I think it was just like
Battery did not die.
the battery died. Don't lie to them. Or did it not die and you just changed it because it was like, hey, I'm dying?
Well, I mean, it wasn't going to keep recording. That was it letting me know it was about to die.
Really? So it was like that's
basically so it doesn't just like shut off, I guess. But also,
but that was what, a 10-second warning?
Yeah, I guess. Like if your camera's about to die,
imagine if like hey, people did that.
They gave you warning when they're about to die.
They're like, hey, 10 seconds. They like knew exactly the time.
Well, I'm assuming this isn't like a scripted podcast.
No.
Because I don't know if I mentioned it in listing my entire encyclopedia of podcasts that I listen to but no longer listen to. But I did used to listen to Welcome to Night Vale, and that's scripted. I bought the book too, the first one, when it came out. I can't even remember. Anyways, that's not important. But I would also assume scripted podcasts would not be as long either, unless they're like a one-off type thing. Which honestly, I think there needs to be more scripted podcasts because, like, you know, radio dramas.
If Christopher was listening right now, he'd be frothing at the mouth.
Really?
He that seemed to be all he talked about whenever.
Radio dramas?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He wanted to make his own. He was trying to make his own.
I mean,
he may have made his own, and I may not know about it.
I mean, it just won't be on the radio, but I mean, scripted podcasts are basically radio dramas, you know, because this is something that I found out recently. Radio dramas are still alive and well in the UK on BBC Radio 4 every day at 2 p.m. their time. They air a radio drama, and I think it's like 30 minutes to an hour. I did not get a chance to listen to it, so I cannot comment on its quality, but I would assume that they are, you know, accepting new material. So, yeah. I think it would be cool to do a radio drama, too.
Yeah. Let's shift gears. This is no longer the Not Just Aaron podcast. This is the Not Just Aaron radio drama.
I don't know. I don't know how you would like write one though. Because I feel like when I was like in some downtime in my last job, I did actually look up like the script format for a radio drama, and it's kind of, I don't know, different.
It's kind of like different from like other script formats. It's kind of weird. The ones that
I'm used to, you know? Like how do I parse this, you know?
Uh-huh.
How do I transfer the way that I normally write to this? And
you do it.
I mean, I guess, but there's probably also some conventions that I'm not aware of when it comes to writing a radio drama as well.
I mean, you don't have to be perfect on your first go.
No, but it would be nice to know what I'm doing. At least a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, this is the 37th episode of the Not Just Aaron podcast. I am Aaron, and you are? Depressed.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, man. I've been looking at that. I don't know what is that wax?
This?
Yeah, the red thing.
Wax.
It looks like a big lumped up fruit by the foot. Like, remember when you would get them as a kid? Instead of unrolling them, I would just like ball them
You
up.
eat them with the paper?
No.
You just bite right into it?
No, I would unroll it, but then I would take the fruit off the paper and then ball it up because it's just easier that way. I haven't had a fruit by the foot in probably over a decade. Which is a weird thing to consider that. I was thinking about this morning in the shower. I don't know why. But
fruit by the foot?
No, but the fact that I started high school almost a decade ago.
Yeah, we're old. We're dying.
Yep, we are getting up there. And also...
Think of how long ago we graduated. Think of how long ago we started college.
Graduated high school or college?
College.
I mean...
Nearly 2 years.
3 years ago, but...
Nearly 2 years ago.
Well, for me, it was almost 3 years ago. Me?
Yep, I said poo.
Oh.
Because you're right.
Okay.
We went to the same ceremony.
Yeah, because COVID.
Yeah.
But technically, I was off the books. December 2020. So, yeah. I keep thinking back to my graduation and how just unhappy of a day that was.
Really?
Yeah.
What why?
I don't know, because I mean, by that point, let's see, what was that? Was that in May?
Wait, like the ceremony?
Well, not really just a ceremony, but I mean, that was certainly part of it, but just the whole day.
Uh-huh.
It just wasn't a happy time for me.
Really? I can show you some pictures. You look kind of happy.
Yeah, because I was back and seeing everybody again, but aside from that,
So other than those pictures, you were unhappy?
for the most
I
part,
want you to
yeah.
elaborate.
Well, I was about to, but I don't know. I guess I was just thinking about it because recently I had driven past the Coliseum where it was and just randomly thought about it, and I realized that I just wasn't happy that day. And it had kind of started the day before, because the day before we had, or was it? Yeah, no, it was the day before, because we had driven down here from my hometown to stay overnight because the ceremony would be the next morning. And my parents made me and my brother share a hotel room, which I didn't want to do for reasons that were, what do you call it? Solidified, because my brother ended up bringing a girl back to our hotel room, which is really weird, and I really hated it. And I just don't like being around my brother in general and having to share a room with him. Not great. The night before, my brother was trying to get me to do shots with him, which, like, I don't drink, and I certainly wouldn't be drinking with him. So he was just being really weird about it, like trying to peer pressure me into drinking for what, I don't know. And that just kind of annoyed me. And I don't know, anytime like all four of us take a trip together, it's just stress city. And then, by this time I was, let's see, December, we'll count the end of December, January, February, March, April, May, 5 months past my actual, oh God, I should stop. But yeah. I was 5 months past the date of my actual graduation, and I kind of had felt like a failure a little bit because I still wasn't able to like find a job, which I knew there would be some difficulty to that, but I don't know. I really wasn't feeling very good about it in that time frame. And then, having to come back and see everybody and just kind of, I guess, internalizing it in my head that they were doing better than I was, which probably wasn't the case, but that's how I felt at the time. And then just a bunch of little things coming together, like my brother, first of all, me and my brother having to share a room, my brother bringing a girl back to our room, weird. And then before that, my mom was like really adamant about me wearing a dress to the graduation ceremony, which, like, whatever, fine. I was gonna wear this one yellow dress that I had, but she took it upon herself to call the school and be like, hey, is there gonna be a dress code for the graduation? And they said, yeah, you gotta wear black or navy blue. And my mom made me, well, I didn't have to buy it, she bought it, but I had to procure a just ugly, uncomfortable dress that I would never wear if I had like a choice in that. And also, I hate wedges. Wedge shoes, I don't know why, I just hate them. They don't look good. I think they can look good on some people. They don't look good on me. And I had to wear those as well. I couldn't just wear some other heels that I had. For whatever reason, she wanted me to wear wedges, and she got her way, I guess. So I had wearing an ugly outfit that I didn't feel good in. I was already not feeling great because of the whole job thing. And then, coming back and seeing everybody, knowing that this is probably going to be the last time that I saw a lot of these people, that also made me kind of sad. What else? I did get to do my own makeup. That was fun. That was nice. I thought I looked nice, so that was good. And then they said my name wrong at the ceremony, which I thought was just really just the icing on the cake for my general unhappiness, because, your college graduation, that's really supposed to, I feel like it's supposed to mean a little bit more than like your high school graduation, because I feel like, for me anyways, even though I cried at my high school graduation, I didn't cry at my college graduation, but I feel like there was like more effort put in to me being in college versus me being in high school, and I felt like that was gonna amount to a lot more. And, just having something as simple as having your name be said wrong in front of everybody, like your family, people who know you, yourself. Like, yeah. And the thing about it is, like, the guy, I guess he's the provost or whatever, went around to everybody being like, hey, how do you say your name? And then he wrote it down on my card, and then he got it, and then he still said it wrong. And it's like, what was that for then, So, yeah. And then, let's see. After the ceremony, we went to this restaurant. We actually went to Sushi Village at my behest because it was my day. So, would have made sense that I had my way, at least in that regard. And that was also surprisingly stressful because, like, nobody that I went with, like, knew how to order, and I just kind of wanted to eat my food and leave. I just, wasn't having a good time. And eventually, I think I drove myself down there, but my mom ended up driving me back in my car. I ended up sleeping on the way back, and it's like, well, that's over now. Now what, So, yeah, not the best day. Wasn't superb, but it happened, and I have a picture. So, I never got to, well, it's not that I never got to, I just never did, but some people do, like, photo shoots when they graduate, and my mom also wanted to do that for me, but I just knew she was going to be overbearing about it again, so I was like, you know what? We don't have to do that. And so, the only picture I have at my graduation is the one that was taken on stage, and I guess the ones that we took together. And, actually, thinking back to it, I don't think I have any pictures of myself in my high school cap and gown either, because that day was also, like, very stressful. I just really wanted to leave, because at that point, and I know this is, like, going past my college graduation to, like, a different one, but I remember on that night just, really wanting to be done with high school and, like, start my next chapter, and that meant, leaving let's see, we had our graduation at the football stadium in my hometown, just wanting to leave the stadium as quickly as possible and just go home, go to bed, and wait like 3 months so I can start college. So yeah. I don't even know what prompted that. Why? I guess I said...
Did you say you thought about it in the shower or something?
Yeah, but I was thinking about something else, wasn't I? How do we get from fruit by the foot to this?
I don't know.
Me neither.
You'll figure it out when editing it.
Yeah, I guess I will. How are you on our graduation?
I feel like I'm trying to remember where we like ate afterwards. If we went back to like my apartment, I feel like we went back to my apartment and had like because Melissa's parents brought food. I think they brought some like barbecue or something, and so we went back to my apartment and ate there as like a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I already said this, but I do remember after we had like taken our pictures together, just being really sad because I didn't know when the next time I was going to see you was. So, yeah. Let's move on.
Let's not.
Why not?
I don't know. Well, what is it? I don't know. I think it can be fun, but it's fun for me, not necessarily fun for you.
It's very not fun for me.
Yeah. Well, I think what makes it fun for me in part of partially like tormenting you a little bit, but also just curiosity of like why it's so unfun for you. Yeah.
Just I guess because of how unhappy that day was, and
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we can move on. I'm just a little curious, I'm just a little curious.
Okay, so there was a show on HBO Family that'll come on Saturdays called A Little Curious.
HBO Family?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have basic cable. I definitely didn't have premium cable growing up.
Yeah, never mind.
Well, okay, I had basic cable for like a time, but that took a while.
Like the 2010s, basically if you plugged a TV into the wall, you could get the basic channels.
Yeah.
I don't know why they stopped that.
But I'm saying, like, it's like I didn't, for a long time, I didn't have like Cartoon Network. I didn't have Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I guess those are the next step up.
Yep. We got them at some point, but that took some time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, I
think one of the main characters in A Little Curious was like a broom. And a door. It was a kid's show. It was kind of weird. I want to look this up now because I need to share this with you. But
sounds riveting.
I mean, as riveting as kid shows can be. But my main juice on HBO Family on Saturday mornings was Crashbox, and it's on HBO. We did already talk about this because we talked about the revolting slob, and I showed you the picture.
Oh.
Let me see. But I love that show so much. Apparently, it only ran for like not as many seasons as I thought, but it's all on HBO Max.
For now. Well, you know, is the joke of them removing stuff.
He's either a broom or a mop. And I think the other one is like a ball. It's just a red circle. And it is a door. Yeah. Wow.
Looks like Bad VeggieTales.
But without vegetables.
Yeah.
With household. And just weird early 2000s. No, late 90s. Yeah. CG animation. Yeah. Wow. And it only ran for 2 seasons. That's crazy. I guess they just did so many reruns. And there was another show in that same block called I Spy. I Spy was hitting. That was fun. That was a fun show. But you can't relate. So I gotta stop talking about it.
Good. I'm glad you read my face. Because, man, I was about to be real, like, passive-aggressive or something.
Okay. I wonder if it's...
Well, let's... I don't know. Well, since we maybe want to keep this one not short, but short-ish, concert, which is what we started with and then briskly moved away from.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we got on a topic of pits, which is adjacent, but
yeah.
But yeah,
we're going to see one on Sunday.
Yeah.
Little Rock, Arkansas. And let's see, we'll be seeing August Burns Red 20th anniversary with support from Bleed From Within, I think, and The Devil Wears Prada. I did listen to some of Bleed From Within stuff, and I don't think I would listen to it like voluntarily, but I feel like it would be really fun live. So, yeah. I've heard that August Burns Red goes pretty hard during their shows.
Yeah.
So.
What? How so?
I don't know. Just like, I guess, showmanship and stage presence.
It's cool.
Yeah. I haven't seen any videos though. We could watch some.
Nah.
You sure?
I want to go in blind.
That might be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to a lot of concerts, but I think I have. I only been to 2. Sort of 3, but that was like a, I don't know, little local bar band.
Yeah. One more tip that I have that I don't think I've shared with you up until this point is be prepared for it to be really, really hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we know if it's like a closed stadium or a open stadium?
I mean, we can look at pictures of the inside. What?
Why is Kevin calling me? Kevin's always calling me during this podcast.
Oh my God.
He did this last time. Hello? Concert tip.
I was gonna show you the inside of it, and this is it. It looks pretty big. I will say that. Bigger, I mean, the last 2 that I've been in weren't very big.
Do we have any more images?
I was looking for them, but that was really the only one I could find.
What about the website?
I think this is from the website.
It's not from Google Maps. It looked like a Google Maps photo.
Let me see. Well, I mean, it says it has a standing room capacity of 1,300 receptions, fundraisers, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think I'll need to... I don't think I'll need to, like, dress any differently. I think, like, jeans, t-shirt, jacket can come on or off, and I'll be good. I was, I guess, what is it? My event that I went to recently. I was very hot at that, but I was also very nervous. Here, wait, before we completely move on. What is it? Yeah, it doesn't look particularly big. Before we move on to like my event, maybe, is there anything else we want to say about this? I guess you wanted to see like how I felt beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't feel anything.
Great. Wonderful.
Though, granted, like even an event I was objectively excited for. I was excited for Melissa a couple days beforehand. She was like, "So you excited?" And I'm like, I'm happy to go. Like, so it's like, I don't think, I don't know, unless it's like a big deal, like unless it's like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like what would be a big deal. Like if I was seeing like Bo Burnham or like, I don't even know what, I don't know what would constitute like a big deal, but not to say these aren't big deals. But I think I'm not going to get excited until kind of like right before, in a way. And so I currently have no thoughts on like, I don't know, this upcoming concert other than like it'll be an experience. I'm hoping a positive one.
I hope so too.
If you, I hope if you remember this detail, part of what makes me curious in these bands is that like I had a friend in middle school that really liked them. He was really into, I guess, like metal music, and then I guess he's a good Christian boy, so only Christian metal. He may have been into other stuff, but I distinctly remember him frequently talking about The Devil Wears Prada. So I'm like, kind of, what if I see him there? No, unlikely. I wouldn't want to see him either. He was kind of, the last time I saw him, which granted was many, many years ago, wasn't that friendly, which was kind of upsetting.
I will say these bands, well, I don't know about August Burns Red, but The Devil Wears Prada, they're not, Jesus.
The devil,
The Devil Wears Prada.
The Devil Wears Prada.
They're not overtly Christian anymore.
I mean, they don't have to be like overtly Christian to be Christian.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh yeah, Jesus. I'm looking for a sermon here. I'm just like, I like the association.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not expecting an altar call, Aaron.
I mean,
I'm not expecting them to pass around a donation bin.
Plate.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, one thing that I do remember, and we can move on after this, when I went and saw The Devil Wears Prada for my birthday last year, is that they like had bottles of water on stage for us in the front, and we like shared water. I thought that was so nice.
That sounds like a quick way to get herpes.
We were all waterfalling.
Okay.
I was not about to let that bottle touch my lips.
Okay.
So, but I thought that was really nice, all just sharing water, because I mean, at that point, for whatever reason, I went back to the bar to get like another bottle of water, but the guy wouldn't serve me. I couldn't figure out why. Because you was some water.
Child?
No, I was asking for water, and I had also gotten water before, so and I
nah.
drank the entire bottle. That's how unbelievably hot it was in there. It was so hot. Oh my god. Thankfully, I was in the front.
Melissa's gonna die. Melissa's here. Well, no, she won't hear it before the concert, but she's gonna hear this afterwards, and she'll be like, "Aaron, you son of a bitch! Should have warned me."
Well, I mean, when you're in a tight space, it's just bodies on top of bodies. It's gonna get hot, and we just have to hope that.
Is this an orgy?
No, but I mean, there will be some men with their shirts off. So
I'll be one of them.
Man.
Anyway. So I went to an event in between last podcast and this podcast, and it was called a live taping of a podcast. It was called An Evening with Last Stand 2.
Is the episode up?
No, not yet. No. I would probably send it to you.
Why were you up there Q&Aing?
Don't spoil anything. So I get there. Didn't really realize, like, what is it? Thinking this is like kind of like a somewhat niche, gaming podcast.
Just I saw how much they make on Patreon. They're
Yeah.
not niche by any means.
Well, maybe niche niche.
And also, at least 2 of the people on there are fairly well known.
Yeah.
In their own right, especially within gaming. So.
Yeah. Well, I just don't think I realized until I was at the venue and Melissa was dropping me off. I didn't realize like how many people were going to be in a room. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I think it was like 500 seats in the auditorium. I think sold out or nearly sold out. And I don't think it occurred to me at all how many people that would be until I was in the lobby and they were all in the lobby too. And it's like everyone's trying to go to the you just keep on keeping on. Everyone's like trying to go to the bathroom, trying to get concessions, trying to get merch. Like there is every single line to every single location, whether it be the bathroom, the auditorium, the merch, the concessions, all of them were intersecting. No one knew what line was what. Everyone was like, "Hey, are you in the line?" And it's like, "Which one?" And then you specify, and it's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which line I'm in."
Interjecting with another tip: don't buy merch at the venue.
Why? Because it's expensive.
No, because there have been some incidents recently where venues have been starting to want to take a cut of merch sales, which is universally disliked by concert goers and bands.
Well,
so
I'm gonna do it now because you interjected. I mean, I would probably, depending on how expensive it is, I would probably buy a sticker at the table. Yeah, but they should. If they're a good band, they'll have stickers. Will they be sold out? Will they run out of stickers?
Maybe.
I hope not.
I do kind of want to get some tour merch though, because for any concert I've been to, I didn't get any, and I kind of regretted it, but anyway, it was going.
So 500 people, all in the lobby, all dying to.
So wait, Melissa didn't go with you?
No, because the tickets were a little expensive. They were like $70, and she was like, I kind of told her what the event was going to be, which is just kind of like a live podcast, roughly. A little bit more presentation, a little bit more panache, but a live podcast. And she was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to spend that much for that. And I was like, that's fair. So it was just me all by my lonesome. And let me think, what's the relevant details?
Was it 5 hours?
It was like 3 or so. Yeah, there was like an intermission at some point, an hour in or so.
What did they talk about?
Well, here okay. You're prompting me. Well, I'm just trying to think of like the relevant details. I'm trying to think of the whole story. I did go to the merch table because I pre-bought some merch. The merch table was run by, I want to say, most of like the guys' like significant others, because this is a whole family affair, in a way, and it was very busy. I think maybe I would have liked to like stay and chat with one of them, but it was very busy. So I was just like, hi, I pre-bought a thing, and then it's like, okay, what's the name? And I was like, all right, thanks. But they were nice, even though I didn't speak to them in a way, in a conversational manner. Auditorium, the show. The theme for the event was the most overrated games of all time. And they'd done, for their 2 previous live shows, they did the greatest games of all time, and they did the top 25 PS4 games of all time, I guess. A lot of time here. And for the for the greatest games of all time, what they did is like each member of like the team, and I want to say there's like 6. There's like 6 of them. They all made like a PowerPoint and just kind of like made their case for like why they picked the game, made a PowerPoint for their case of like which were the greatest games, and then at the end, it's like the audience and everyone like votes for like which one is the best.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do any voting for that for the one I went to, the overrated, but it's basically the same thing where it's like PowerPoints and discussion. And depending on the person, kind of depends on the PowerPoint. Some were more comical, some were, well, I guess there's only 5, but 2 were comical, 2 were more like a little more serious, analytical, and then 1 was more like artsy, creative in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And one guy, there's supposed to be 6 of them, but one guy couldn't make it because he, I guess, was having some ear trouble.
Mm.
And I think it was fun. I think like for me, I had a really hard time realizing, and I guess sorry Melissa and Kevin, because I basically told both of you all this already. I had a hard time realizing like it was real, like it's like these people I've been listening to for years. It's like I'm in the same room with, they're right there, just like 50 feet away, maybe more than that. I'm not good with measurements.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just kind of like out of it, or just kind of like trying to like mentally pinch myself in a way of just like, okay, like I'm here, this is real, this is happening. I'm not like freaking out or anything, but like I don't know if when I look back on this I'll remember it as being real. I'll probably like rewatch the video and then
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'll remember, maybe, but I don't know yet. I'm kind of really waiting for the video to like help solidify it or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I guess I kind of felt that way when I went to see, let's see, Era in Birmingham for the beginning of their Pull from the Ghost tour. And like, I like Era a lot, but I think out of all of the bands that were there, I was most the fan of Invent Animate. And let's see, after, I can't remember who went on first, but in between the sets when they were like setting up and everything, a guy came on stage and was like, checking all the microphones and stuff. And then all of a sudden I realized, hey, wait a minute, that's Marcus Vick. He's like the vocalist. I'm like, oh, he's just a guy,
yeah.
So I thought that was really interesting, and they were very good live, and I will be seeing them again in June. Very happy about that.
But what is it? So enjoyed the presentations, and I guess it was just kind of cool being in the same room. I think like I would have loved to, I guess, like meet them, I think like that is the thing I would prefer, but I think they kept the meet and greet to like VIP tickets, where it was like the more expensive like front seat tickets that probably sold the quickest and
were more expensive.
Yeah, well, and also like I think the link to the event to like get tickets was like Patreon only for like a week or so. So I didn't get my tickets
pre-sale.
In a way.
Mm-hmm.
So my tickets I didn't get until like much after they had been out for a while, which worked out because like I had like a front seat on the mezzanine.
Mm-hmm.
And what was funny was like they kept like plugging and now like talking about the live show in episodes, and they were like, it's coming up, and like there's not a lot of seats left, but then they were also like, I think it's just mezzanine seats left. And then as the weeks went on and got closer and closer, they were kind of like, yo, looking at the pictures of the venue, the mezzanine seats, like that's where I would sit. That's like if I was seeing a band, that's where I would want to be. And I was like, that's where I'm at. And I think I joke with like myself, and then partially with the one guy I ended up sitting next to, of just like, hey, not being on Patreon, it paid off. But so now the main event. I think having a hard time, I think I knew going in that I was going to have a hard time like realizing it was like real. And so I think during the drive up there, or maybe like the day before, it doesn't matter, but I had said to Melissa, like, I know what would make it real is like if I met them or if I like talked to them, and so I was like, I gotta get a question. in, because I think for their previous ones they had like Q&A stuff, some roaming mics.
Yeah.
And they did have that kind of in between presentations. They would have like a question or two, and at the very end they would have just only
General.
questions.
Yeah.
And they had one mic down, I guess, on the ground floor, one mic on the mezzanine, but the mezzanine had a lot less people, so being up there already increased my chances.
Yeah.
I think also something that may have inhibited my ability to enjoy the show was like how I think just being alone in such a large crowd and like just in a big room full of strangers kind of stressed me out a little bit. So I was already sweating through my shirt, which that's a common occurrence that happens every day. But then trying to sort of think of a question, but then also trying to get the attention of the person, the mic holder, made me sweat extra, and I sweat through my hoodie too, because I was very nervous. And when it finally got to the Q&A, it seemed like the strat for getting a question in was like not as soon as they're like, let's go to the audience for questions, just as soon as they look up or kind of like look at the audience, it's like shoot your hand up. And then either they'll pick you or the mic holder will pick you. And so I was trying to do that, but like, to know some people were faster than me. I was also trying to enjoy the show, but somewhat failing a little bit with my stress level rising. And but a lot of people had already at this point in the show, it's like it's pretty much winding down. It's like the last like 20-15 minutes. A lot of people up in the mezzanine had already gotten questions, so like not as many people were raising their hands. So like every time they looked up, I was like, whew. And then like I hope I didn't freak out or maybe annoy the people behind me, because like every like 30 seconds I was looking over my shoulder, just like try, because the mic holder was like behind me at like the top. And so I was just like, is he looking, like is he looking this way, like just trying to get his attention in a way, but without being like obnoxious. But I was so nervous, sweating through my shirt, sweating through my hoodie, and really wanting to get a question. And then finally, with like, I think like 5 minutes or so to spare, I finally got his attention.
Really?
And then what's funny enough was like I got the mic, but then like they were still talking down there. So I was just holding it, waiting for like a minute or two. Just not wanting to, because it's a live mic, not wanting to talk over them. And kind of waiting. And the mic holder was nice because I guess he was an older guy, because he was one of the guys on stage's dad. So he just, I don't know, he's just old man vibes. He was just kind of nice. Nice vibes. But yeah, so then I was very nervous, but no, I got the second to last question actually. Yeah. And so, well, so one of the games, so like some preface was that the main guy, Colin, he absolutely loves The Last of Us, and I guess what one of his faults in a way is like the games he loves, his like brain cannot comprehend anyone else like disliking them. And so he does not understand, or like just cannot compute anyone saying like The Last of Us 1 or 2 are bad, because he thinks both are 10 out of 10 masterpieces. And I'm not saying I disagree. I just think it's funny that he just can't. I don't know. I just think it's funny. So he, before the show had started, before anyone like made a presentation, he had said, if anyone, jokingly, but maybe not, he said, if anyone picks The Last of Us, they're fired. And then of course the last guy to go chose The Last of Us. And that was funny, that the crowd reaction and his presentation were funny and good. And so I think I had thought of like a couple of questions, and but I feel like I still wanted to stick with The Last of Us. But this was like 20 minutes later, and so I just asked like how they felt the like score of The Last of Us I guess contributed to like what made it great, and how like how much would be lost if you took that away. And then I hope it was a good question. I hope they liked it.
Did they not answer it?
They did answer it, but they kind of went more broad. They went away from The Last of Us and more just to like scores and soundtracks in general a little bit. But I don't know. I think it was cool. I know Melissa was like, I don't know, after the fact, really trying to like make it real, or almost trying to like freak me out, where she's like, you talked to them. You were on the show. And I was like, yeah. And so I can't wait for the live thing, because I want to rewatch it. It's like Melissa didn't pay $70, but she's going to sit through those 3 hours with me. We're going to watch it in like 30-minute increments probably. But yeah, I think that definitely did make it real. I believe I made eye contact with them, but there's like 5 of them, so it's like, who do I look at? Also, they had a hard time seeing me.
Balcony.
Well, I mean, they could.
Wait, how big was this venue?
500 seats. It wasn't. What do you want me to say?
How close were you to the stage? Like, did you need the opera peepers just to see down there?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't too big. I don't think. I don't know what to reference it to. Like,
was it like a theater or
a theater?
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a small theater.
A small theater.
Okay.
Yeah, 500 seats. That's all I got. I could maybe show you a picture, but and then like I think I want to say, oh man, my favorite guy, who is Colin's brother Dagan, I don't think he answered it at all, which I'm sad, because I just like him a lot. I think he's my favorite member of the team, and it's kind of like a joke by his brother that it's like the company's like secret weapon. It's like he's everyone's favorite. Where it's like I think some of the live events that they did, or like a meetup or two that they did, everyone's always like, yo, where's Dagan? And then it's like, if he's not there, people are bummed. And so I don't think he answered at all. And then another one of the guys that I'm not particularly big fan of, just because he is over like the he's from like the Xbox side of like the company, and I already have a hard time listening to the 4-hour PlayStation podcasts every week, so I definitely don't have time for the 2-hour Xbox podcasts. But he I just feel like I noticed when he was like answering my question, it felt like he kept like trying to look back up at me and like make eye contact when he was answering, and so I think I appreciated that gesture. But yeah, it was an experience. I can't wait to rewatch it and hear my little voice. I was very, 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 very nervous. I started with a hello, probably a shaky, nervous hello. I was like, hello. Yeah.
Wow, that's so much fun.
Yeah. Your tone.
What?
Sorry. I don't know. It was like, it sounded like sarcastic when you said it.
I was not being sarcastic.
No, I believe you. It sounds
like a wonderful time.
Okay.
Which that didn't help at all.
Yeah. You're like, wow, that sounds like so much fun. Sounds like a wonderful time.
I just feel like I can kind of commiserate.
Yeah.
Commiserate, I guess, because I also had a sort of, I don't want to say intimate, because that sounds weird, but a very close experience when I went to see The Devil Wears Prada, because I was so close to the stage, and it really felt, like I was experiencing it very up close and personal, I guess. And I mean, you got to actually ask them a question. I was given a guitar pick by Jeremy of The Devil Wears Prada, which I still have. And, I feel like I can compare these experiences, but I can't articulate them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah. It does sound like fun. So it is Sunday. What's today? Today is the 19th. it's been exactly 1 week since the concert, and we are doing a little addendum to get some first thoughts, some first impression. Well, I guess it isn't first impressions now because it's been a week, but
thoughts.
Yes, thoughts and impressions. Both of your first metal shows, and you were on the floor. So, what was that
you say
like?
Both of us, like as if it's just me here.
What?
Or wait, like, well, what is it?
We have Melissa here too. I feel like I should say that Melissa is also on the pod for the second time now.
I am.
So this is extra special.
Wait, she said you edited her out some other time.
I didn't.
No, that was for an outro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the other time?
That was
we were talking about birth control. I can't remember which one that was.
Yes, and about the surgery that men can get.
Yeah, because we were talking about male birth control. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And all the side effects and stuff that women go through. Yeah. that was a while ago. I feel like that was at your old apartment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just someone opening their trunk,
I guess. So thoughts? Well, okay. So let's go through the things. I had to show up at the venue a bit earlier than you two because
had to in quotes.
Not even in quotes.
Oh wait, actually no. Yeah, no, you did have, I guess, legitimate reason.
Yeah, which saddened me a little bit because I wanted us to experience the line together.
You wanted us to experience
the line.
Yes, there's camaraderie within the line.
You wanted us to all experience getting scanned for medals and weapons together.
Yeah, I actually had to throw away my mace because I couldn't put it anywhere, and they were like, "If you got mace, you can't come in." And it's like, well, I guess I have to throw this away.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. I don't think it was very expensive though. Why on earth would I do that?
So you could have it later.
Yeah, so I could die from ingesting mace and also whatever aluminum.
It's contained in the mace jar.
Well, you don't think my stomach acid is strong enough to eat away aluminum?
No.
Okay.
Aaron, would you say you're not into spicy foods?
Mace is an actual spice. I didn't know that. Oh. Apparently it's like sort of close to nutmeg, but
yeah, I should cook with it.
Yeah.
It's like a mint spray or something. You're just like, my breath is a little bad. Just like.
But no, it looked like mace. So there's no way I was going to be able to take it in. But they did thank me for being honest. So I got brownie points with the security.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you exchange those brownie points for?
I don't know.
Crisp high five?
What?
A crisp high five?
Oh, a crisp high five. I thought you said crisp pie five. I'm like, what on earth is that?
That was the band that didn't show up. It was the secret show afterwards.
Wow, the encore.
Yeah.
Wow. So I guess you guys didn't have much. There's no camaraderie in the line for you.
I mean, we were trying to be as not as cold as possible.
Yeah, it was very cold. I think it was like 58 when we were out there.
Yeah, it was a bit very windy. Cold. I will say the group in front of us had 2 friends cut in line in front of us also. But it was going really fast, so I didn't mind. But the girl was like, hey, you want to just get in with us? And if you can't see, I'm waving my hand. She's like, come get in line with us. And it did kind of make me mad. Because I don't like line cutters.
That would have made me mad too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, see, I feel like I didn't like it, but only because she almost made a big deal out of it. Because she was like, hey, guys. And they left to the back of the line. She was like, wait. And she was like, do you guys want to... And
she was yelling.
They were really unsure. And then she was like, I won't tell if you won't. But
what about everybody else behind you?
And we were still wrapped around the building.
Literally, if she hadn't said that one sentence, I would have been fine. I would have been they're just friends meeting up. It's fine. Yeah. But the fact that she was like, that both of the fact that her friends were unsure and that she was like, I won't tell if you won't, even though everyone, it's quiet out there. Literally everyone within 10 feet or so can hear her.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, no.
But aside from that, it was really quick. We were only out there for 10 minutes walking around. Yeah.
So when you actually got in the venue, what was the vibe?
It was crowded, I think.
Yeah.
Well, what did you were?
It was fog machines.
Fog machines.
Because they gotta get it ready for the laser show.
Yeah, there were lasers. Yeah. That was actually really cool. I liked that a lot.
I liked it a lot. I got some video of it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I think it was, I guess all of the concerts I've been to have been very small, so it was kind of the biggest venue I've been to. And it was very what is it? The one with Lawrence was, I don't know. There was like tiers. There was kind of like sections off. Whereas like this was
theater.
This was like a hangar almost, like just very wide open.
Yeah.
High ceilings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything was black.
Uh-huh.
And kind of dim.
Yeah.
And most people wore very dark, neutral colored clothing.
Yeah, mostly black.
Yeah, mostly black
That
clothing.
is the metalhead uniform after all. Just all black.
Mm-hmm. The bathrooms were weird. This is strange to talk about. But
the entrance of them were, it was like on the bottom floor anyway. The top floor, that was normal. It was just doors, but they had like, it was open
sinks. Like, it was open. You walk in, and if you want to go to the women's side or the men's side, you kind of just go around the wall to the different sides, and then you come back out when you want to wash your hands to these like shared sinks in front, and there were no doors to like between the male and female sides and stuff. So it was just a little strange, like especially in the middle of the concert when you're going in there in the hustle and bustle. There's some girls chilling over here on the floor. These guys over here. It was weird. And
they serve food there. So there were some people with like plates of food in their hand.
Yeah, in the bathroom. Yeah.
In the bathroom?
Well, yeah, like sitting. They would sit. Yeah, I don't know. There were a couple.
I don't recommend that.
I went to the restroom like near the end, middle of the end, and there were like 5 girls just sitting in the floor and like at the entrance of the bathroom, I guess, to stay out of the way from like all the foot traffic. And
they were all huddled around one quesadilla.
But I think one of them had some food. The other one looked like she was really tired and like I don't know.
It's a lot.
They were going through a lot, so I just left. But yeah, I didn't tell you that. Forgot. It was loud. I didn't have time to tell you the story.
I didn't see anyone with food in the bathroom.
No,
the food was good.
I liked the shared sinks though. You know?
What was it like?
Oh my god, I'm washing my hands.
The
next
long
to a girl.
sink or just like sinks next to each other?
It was
long sink.
Yeah, two long
like
sinks,
like a baseball stadium. Or no, that's the urinals at a baseball stadium. It's just like a long trough. I don't know if you've ever been to a baseball stadium.
Why have you seen the urinals at a baseball stadium?
I've seen the videos. Wait.
I took the videos.
No. I'm just aware of what the inside of a baseball stadium bathroom looks like. I don't know. I see things on Reddit.
The trough.
What things?
You know,
videos inside of bathrooms, which people are taking
highly
for some
illegal,
reason.
And you're watching.
That is actually illegal. You can't.
And it's illegal to watch them.
Well, okay, but you can't take videos inside of bathrooms. That's weird. I don't know why people do that. That's weirdo behavior. I don't recommend it. But what was I gonna say? There was a baby in the audience, a full-on toddler. Just, I didn't see them because I guess I wasn't looking for them. But it was in fact a baby because Joseph was questioning me on this. But they had to be under 3 years old. When I was standing in line, I guess the dad had like VIP because then all the VIP people came out and put their stuff in their cars. And then just like a toddler walks by me, just toddling on by in like a blue and white striped onesie. And then his dad is like behind him like, yeah, he's been asking me to go to another one. And it's like, first of all, you can say no. But also, I don't know, a kid that young at one of these places, I don't know.
I don't understand.
It's a little intense. Wait. I don't have beef. I just thought it was strange.
I will say one of the bands, I can't tell you which one, but at the merch tables, one of them did sell clothing for children. So
yeah,
that
a
was
lot
their
of bands
audience.
actually do that. They sell onesies and stuff.
Yeah,
but that's more for the parents and the kids.
Yeah, I just saw one of them had like a child's t-shirt on the table, like for someone who's like 5 years old sized.
Yeah. And I mean, I saw
that was their target audience.
I saw a kid that was like at least under 10, but that's not my first time seeing that. I mean, I see like under 10 kids at these shows sometimes, which I feel like that, they can handle a little bit more, but like a baby,
a baby.
Yeah.
A baby.
Oh, that was a new one. I did see some illegal activity.
What, like weed?
No. A bunch of underage girls were with this one guy. I guess one of them was dating the guy, and he was just like, yo, you want my beer? So they like passed around drinking the beer, and it was weird.
Yeah,
it was like right in front of us. I don't know if you saw Joseph, but they all had, instead of having a stamp on your inner wrist that said X. Yeah, they had the X, and they were all kind of like giddy, like 16, 17-year-old, like, ooh, I'm at a place I'm not supposed to be with this guy who looked like he was 35. Oh, man. And then a girl who looked maybe she was 18, like hardly legal at a legal age to date him. And he was like, come on, girls, I'll show you around. It was very creepy. And then they kind of scuttered off somewhere else. But I was like, oh gosh, I'm concerned for all of you.
There was one guy I saw walking around in the audience that like he looked like he was like 40, but he also had the X on his wrist,
really,
on his arm, and so or on his what is it, his
wrist,
back of his hand.
Yeah.
And like I guess he looked very Hispanic, so I just wonder if he like didn't have ID or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I know like that like sounds like. I guess I know that sounds like maybe like a bad stereotype. I'm just saying like.
It's just a strange statement to make.
That's your.
He looked Hispanic, therefore he must not have had ID.
Well, I'm just trying to think of why, because it's like he definitely looked like he was like 40 or so, and it's like, so it's like, why did he have the X on the back of his hand?
Yeah,
that's the only explanation I can think of.
He may not have brought an ID with him there, or he is a recovering alcoholic and told them, please put the X on my hand. So that he would be denied at the bar. That's another possibility, maybe. To each their own.
Not just, being an illegal.
Yeah. Because that might have been a temptation that he wanted to keep away from, so he just told them,
I'm not drinking, put the X on my hand.
Yeah.
Because I think I've been to a place once, they didn't even check my ID. They just put the X on my hand, which I felt a type of way about that because I was definitely over 21. But like at the same time... Already. Had what out?
Shouldn't you have like had it out already?
Well, I was prepared to show him, but he just looked at me and was like, "All right, X on the hand." I mean, I don't drink at these shows anyways, but
yeah, like I'm offended. I am both flattered and offended.
I'm not flattered by people thinking I'm young. Honestly, I'm at the age where it's like
in like 20 years.
No, not even 10 years. You'll be like, "Wow, you think I'm in my 20s? Wow, thank you."
I guess.
I think I'm not. Yeah,
I guess we're right.
Whatever. Anyway, once the actual show starts, what is the vibe?
I threw up.
Oh, you didn't.
I went and cried in the bathroom. I was like, this is too much. It's too intense. My ears hurt. Wah.
No, I will say, when it first started, I was very giggly because, like, I was like, I'm ready to just experience whatever, I'm here for it. I'm going to appreciate some live music, even if it's not the genre I, like, personally listen to, which I did enjoy the whole time. But at the very beginning, I got giggly because I started seeing people immediately in the very front, like headbanging with all their heart.
And the pit opens up immediately.
It cracked me up because I was like, oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like hitting yet. It had just started. And they were like already on like level 2. I don't know. It was very funny though, just to see like the room the vibes at the front were different than the vibes at the back. We were just back there like vibe. Everybody back there was chill. We were just like, okay, we're here. We're getting into the music. They went, and people in the front went all for it in the first like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the opening act said. He called us out. He said we were the lazy fucks in the back.
And we all said, yeah.
Yeah. It's like we're not moving. You're not getting us to.
And we didn't. Nobody did. It was, I mean, like we got, head bobbed and stuff like that. And we did jump some. You and I did more than everyone else did. Yeah. But we were the lazy fucks in the back.
So the first opener was Bleed From Within. They're from Scotland. They're from Glasgow.
That threw me off. Yeah. They didn't talk until the first or second song ended, and he introduced themselves. I lost my stuff, like trust issues. It sounds Scottish. And then he has this thick Scottish accent. Yeah. And I lose it. I just start laughing again. I was like, how? Love it. But how? That threw me for a loop.
So how do we rate them? I'll start with mine. Don't laugh. Personally, I listened to a few of their tracks like before we went to the show, and I thought they were just fine. Not really something that I would listen to on my own, but I could tell from the way some of their songs sounded that they would be really good live, and they were really good live. But again, it's not, I don't know if I'm like really into it, but they put on a great show. Big ups to them, but I don't know if I'm into it.
I think energy level, A+, 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
They had the best energy, and I think an opener has to have that. And they really got me into, and they were very welcoming.
Yeah.
Right the music off the bat, was good.
Like a circle pit and a wall of death.
Yeah.
Like way early.
And the guy freaking at the end like crowd surfs on his knees. The amount of like core ab strength you have to stay upright while someone's holding your knees.
Not do a split.
Yeah, and not do a split. Like I was just shocked by that. But energy was amazing, and I felt like I I really liked the guitarist. He had really
all of them had like long hair, and they were doing the deathcore like hair swinging. I love that. That was fun.
So performance 10 out of 10 in that. Sound. I mean, I don't have much experience with like heavy metal stuff, but it did sound pretty like general. Like it sounded like what I would expect, but it wasn't too like
out there.
It wasn't too out there. It wasn't too off the wall. It just sounded like
entry level.
Yeah, entry level, but smooth and good.
Yeah.
So nothing outstanding in that, but energy and performance was just spot on.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Are you telling me more than one band went up? I thought it was the same one the whole time.
Shut up.
This is not as funny as you think it is.
This is a joke on, I guess, to me, not being familiar with them. They all kind of sounded the same to me.
Really?
Really?
I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating. It has been a week.
Yeah.
I
don't think they sounded the same.
Yeah.
No. Because, I mean, Bleed From Within, they were very, like Melissa said, very standard, very kind of entry level, just fine.
Entry level?
Yeah. Kind of middle of the road. Devil Wears Prada, they played some of their old stuff and stuff from their newer album. Their newer album, I think, is less heavy, but still good. But and their older stuff is more, standard. And I don't want to say standard because I do really like their older stuff, but more, traditionally metal-y. And so, yeah, I think, and also, I think the Devil Wears Prada, I guess you have to, like, be into the stuff and pay attention for you to, like, differentiate it. But I feel like their guitar tone is, like, very unique, just, like, in the way that it sounds. I don't know how to explain it, but if I heard a Devil Wears Prada song and an August Burns Red song and a Bleed From Within song, and I had to, like blind, had to assign which is which, I think I would be able to. So yeah, speaking of the Devil Wears Prada were second. What did we think of them? Especially their intro. Do you remember their intro? I thought that was nice.
What was their intro?
It was like a voice.
Yeah. It was good. I thought it was cool. What about you? I do have thoughts. I'll just share them after the intro part.
Well, what is it? I mean, I still didn't really. I mean, I don't know what I would say about Bleed From Within, but I guess I didn't get a chance to. Well, you guys were talking about like their energy or his energy or whatever, and I think I don't know. I feel like they gotta hype up the crowd. They gotta start strong. They have to they have more to prove because they're probably less of an established band than the other two. And they're from a different country, so they're trying to build a new fan base. So they had a lot more work cut out for them than the other two, I think. I don't
know if that's necessarily true because I feel like a lot of metalcore, it really transcends borders because a lot of the bigger bands, they're like in the UK.
They metalcore?
I don't know if I would call Bleed From Within metalcore, but using that as a general term.
Well, why don't you say metal?
Because that's not super accurate either. Because metal, if you think metal, you think like Metallica, Iron Maiden, and they were not that. So it's very different.
I mean, can't metal change over the years? It's metal today than it was metal yesteryear.
I mean, I don't know why you're trying to call me out on subgenres. Well, it's not working. I know what you're trying to do.
No, I'm trying. It's because, what am I trying to do?
I don't know. You're just being weird about subgenres.
Well, I think I'm being weird because leading up to the concert, or like in the times that we've talked about metalcore, I don't know. You struck me as like being almost like pretentious about it. You're like, it's not metal, it's metalcore.
Because there is a difference.
Get it right.
Because metalcore incorporates elements of hardcore. And metal is just metal. Yeah, it blends metal and hardcore.
And I feel like the only band that like incorporated elements, because I did look this up recently, the only band up there that did incorporate elements of hardcore was Devil Wears Prada. I did not think Bleed From Within or August Burns Red did.
Interesting.
So I don't think by that definition you could say they are metalcore.
Well, they are generally considered to be metalcore bands.
Bleed From Within?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And also August Burns Red. They're like a classic metalcore band. They're up there with like Avenged Sevenfold, Killswitch Engage. Like if you ask a metalcore fan what's like a quintessential metalcore band, I don't think August Burns Red would be at the very top because I mean, compared to the two that I just said, they've been around since like the mid to late 90s. And August Burns Red, this is their 20th anniversary. So they've been around since like 2003. So that might not be like at their tippy tip top list, but it's definitely in there. Mm-hmm. But anyways, what was I even talking about?
Joseph was giving his thoughts on the first band.
Okay.
And then you were clarifying how they fit into the genre.
Yeah.
And now we're back.
Okay.
I like that I can tell you this instead of listening and later trying to, like, wanting to tell you. I can be here and tell you. But anyways, so your thoughts on the first?
Well, what is it? I don't even.
You said they all sounded the same or something like that.
That was many minutes ago.
What about the Devils?
The Devil Wears Prada.
Yes.
Yeah, you were talking about the intro. Yeah.
Yeah, the intro.
What is it? Devil Wears Prada. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I liked the Devils. Oh my god, I can't say their name. The Devil Wears Prada. Mm-hmm. I liked the like old songs they played a lot because I could tell a lot of people in the crowd like
getting real hyped
they felt, I could feel how they were feeling and getting so hyped up about it. There was just a different energy, and then they shifted to doing their newer stuff, which it felt less like emotional in the crowd's heart, like because it was just
I mean that album that they played songs for, it just came out like last month, I want to say.
So I felt like I could tell that there was like a shift of like people weren't as confident with like the beat because like on the first few songs like they like have everyone there had like memorized the beats to their heart, like they knew every single rhythm, everything to expect, and then new ones they were a little more unsure, but they were still enjoying themselves, but just because they hadn't memorized it all yet. So I was able to tell that.
What are you looking up over there? Nothing. I can see it in your glasses.
Nothing. I'm not looking.
You can't hide anything with those glasses. Talking. I know. And you're distracting me.
Anyways, I thought they were good as well. I think how much older are they in general to the first group? Because I could tell there's like, I feel like we went up in age between each group. It was like youngest, middle, eldest in performances.
So I'm not 100% sure about Bleed From Within because I don't really know about them that much. Let me see. Bleed From Within. They were formed. They were formed in 2005. So they've been around for a while.
Okay.
Just probably haven't been as big. I want to say The Devil Wears Prada has been around since 2004, 2005.
Oh, wow. So around the same time. I'm going to
confirm this. Because they had created their band right before the movie came out. And the movie came out in 2006.
Oh.
And there's like some question like, did they get it from the movie? And I think the answer was no. It was 2005.
Was there ever a lawsuit?
No, I don't think there was.
Interesting. No, I mean, I feel like I'd want to see the performance. I would love to see them up close, everyone, because I really want to be able to tell, like, how old are you? Because from a distance, I'm like, oh, you're so young. And then I'm like, wait a second. You started your band when I was in kindergarten or first grade in elementary school?
To be fair, they were also pretty young when they started.
Young, yeah, probably like high school. I feel like you could start when you're in high school, and just kind of get more refined as you go on.
Because I have seen the Devil Wears Prada up close, and that they look like they're in their 30s.
Okay,
so mid to late around that time. They don't look, wrinkly and broke down or anything like that. But
But yeah, I thought they were good. I think they were a little more tame in terms of like
not crowd surfing.
Not crowd surfing and not telling the crowd to surf on one another.
Yeah.
There was less of that like crazy engagement, but they still had like a good connection to the audience and everybody like headbanging and stuff. So like I think it was pleasant. And
the vibe I get from them is that they're very, during their performances, they're very stay safe, look out for one another.
Yeah.
Because when I went to see them on my birthday, I was standing at the front and they had like bottles of water that they passed around to us and be like, hey, share this.
Aww.
And I said that in the first part of this, but that's they're very nice to see, So did I give my impression? I did not. I love them. I love seeing them live. I don't really listen to them that much or their newer stuff, but when I had seen them live for the first time in New Orleans last July, that really solidified me liking seeing them live and making me want to see them live more because they do really put on a good show.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously being able to hear Danger Wildman live like 3 times, sublime. So, the headliner, the main squeeze, the main attraction, August Burns Red. Thoughts?
Sporty.
Hear
me out. Okay, I'm just giving you the general first impression vibe, and whatever. Because I think it's because he had that hat on the whole time. And everything. He looks like he's a fitness coach. And they were all don't laugh, but they, of course, instead of the headliner, they had the coolest lights on stage. They had all of the big money, the big production, the laser lights and everything.
The logo at the top.
Yeah, the logo. I was transfixed by that, honestly, the whole time. Like, that, compared to the other 2 bands, they, like, took me into, like, this weird trance kind of state where I just, like, because I feel like maybe because I was getting tired and I'd been listening to a lot of stuff all night and just a lot of stimuli and stuff, and I had just eaten a basket of chicken fingers and fries, and it was very, very good. Fries better than the chicken. The chicken was a little, like, it tasted like it was fried in, like,
the
old.
Wasn't right.
Well, like, no, I think it was old oil. So, like,
I think it was the breading.
No. I'm a fried chicken expert. Bad oil. The fries were good. The fries are fried in a different oil than the chicken because of the batter makes the oil dirtier. Anyways,
the Hall in Little Rock, if you're listening, you gotta step it up.
Step it up. Like, the oil's gotta be changed out quicker, but the fries sublime. Anyway, so I think it could have been a combination of things, but, like, while listening to them, I couldn't help but, like, I was listening and absorbing it, but, like, I zoned out completely, and I would just stare, and, like, I don't know, like, multiple times I'd snap out of it and kind of be like, oh, yeah, but then I would be like, oh, I'm transfixed in a great way, looking at all of the lights and stuff, and but I would just be gone for a little bit, just absorbing it all. What else? Oh, speaking of, like, they had all the lights and stuff. They definitely would have induced many seizures.
Yeah,
with
there's a lot of flashing lights.
Yeah, the white lights in particular. It was as if I couldn't tell if I was blinking or my eyes were wide open with how blinding they were. Like, I felt like my eyes were trying to blink as fast as they could when the white light strobed. But I don't know if my eyes were actually blinking. Yeah. It was very, very weird. Joseph and I looked at each other many times and, like, laughed about it. Yeah, and we kind of looked around at other people too, because we were all like, "Oh God, it hurts! It hurts!" like all the other lights were great, but the white strobe lights, like, actually hurt.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if it was different in, like, the tiered seating where you were.
No, I feel like it was worse because then the lights were, like, eye level.
Oh yeah. Know? Yeah, it was rough, but they were good. They definitely put me into a trance, and I thought that was cool. But they also were like, "Hey, crowd, you got to get hyped up. Bigger pit. Come on, be bigger. All right, now crowd surf one another as long as security's okay with it." And then I don't know if they were or weren't, because at the end he apologized to security, but, like, you should start seeing people's bodies kind of not fly, but, like, roll up on top of the crowd for, like, a couple of feet, and they roll back down under. And it was really, like, strange and almost dreamlike with the weird. I don't, like, from your view, it looked different, but from, like, eye level slightly lower because we are shorter than most people on the floor. It was just weird to see over a crowd of heads and, like, an ocean of heads and bodies. You just see bodies floating on top and then going underneath, drowning. Another one coming up.
Well, they were going, because, like, they take them all the way to the front. And in the front, there's, like, a barrier and then a space between the barrier and the stage where all the security was. So they were being flopped over the barrier, basically onto security. And then they, like, went to the side and, like, back into the crowd.
It was the end of the ride.
That's probably
where they got off.
That's probably why he apologized to security after.
Because they have to catch all of the... not stage divers. There weren't any stage divers.
Yeah.
There were some at the last one that I went to, and I got bonked on the head. I didn't like that. But I was standing at the front, so I should have known better. But anyways.
But yeah, they were good.
Crowd surfers.
Yeah, crowd surfing. Then it made me start thinking, what would it be like to crowd surf? And then I was like, I don't know if I want that many hands on my body. Yeah, and then I saw some girls get thrown up, and I was like, oh, no, don't. It made me feel uncomfortable for them because that's when I started thinking, like, oh, if I were a girl getting pulled up into the crowd, like, I don't know where you'd be touching me.
Yeah.
And I would hate it.
Yeah.
And so I just got like on that tangent in my brain during this whole song. Like, I'm telling you, every time I just zoned out, but while listening, because it was just this weird sensation. What about you, Joseph?
I'm surprised they didn't give an epilepsy warning, I guess, somewhere, just with like
For
how
real.
intense
Yeah.
the lights were at the last one.
Mm-hmm.
I do think
Also,
that was the most intense kind of like flashing lights I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
At least.
Even though they give that kind of warning at like the movies, but yeah, it was way more intense. I wonder how much that U cost. Like, just I don't know, just how
The
big
flaming
it was.
U.
Yeah.
The flaming U and
it's probably
lights.
just like, I don't know, fiberglass and some LEDs.
Yeah.
And some bulbs.
$1,000. It was huge though. I feel like
That is true.
It was
It
the
was pretty
size
big.
of like
It was
a person.
Probably
Yeah.
a couple
Two
thousand.
people.
Probably a couple $1,000. Maybe 5,000 or more because of the custom cut for it. But yeah. But if you can reuse it.
I mean, going back to I don't really have much to say about the bands, but like going back to the stage diving thing or the state crowd surfing thing, I thought like generally the consensus is that like despite the sound of the music, like the fan base is very like nice and I don't know, just
Respectful.
well mannered.
Yeah.
And so it's like, do you like
But they're
if
still
if a girl
strangers.
Yeah.
did like crowd surf, if it's like guaranteed she'd get groped?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's guaranteed, but I feel like it's one of those things where if you do it and that happens, like that was a possibility.
A high possibility. Because
Yeah.
it is
Just-
still like a group of strangers, no matter what. No matter what genre of music this is. Like, it's a group of strangers. If you're in public with a group of strangers, they could be good and bad mixed together, and there's still like a high possibility somebody's going to do something bad.
Yeah,
Well,
but I will say this. I was observing the pit for like most of the entire time. And there were some girls who were in the pit. And I will say this pit, it didn't really seem that intense aside from like the wall of death because you're just running into each other. But like the circle pits and like the regular pits, I think that was if I had to pick a pit to be in, I would probably pick that one because it didn't really seem like there was a lot of crowd killing going on. It really did seem like, it's just your general pushing, shoving, hardcore dancing, that kind of thing. And then, of course, the circle pit, which just looks so much fun. You're only running in a circle. So it's just
the
fine.
circle pit looked funny to me. It's just like
It's
a little
midsummer.
It's
Yeah.
like a merry-go-round. You just go run around into a circle and you're galloping kind of, and then you twirl in the middle. Like, I feel like it gives like a lot of people who participate in that are male, and like they'll jump into it and then spin around and throw their arms up, and I just think it's kind of funny because it's a moment that they're like completely letting loose, and it looks fun, but like high energy and goofy to me, It seemed very like lightweight in that it wasn't really scary. It was just like all I could think about was like, man, that's a lot of running. Like, I would get worn out from just running around. I love the dancing part. The running around that much for that long, I feel like I would want to tap out.
Yeah. Because again, the intention isn't to like hurt other people. It really is just kind of to like let loose and really let all the energy out. Because, a lot of these songs, they are very high energy, and the dancing and the movements matches it. So.
Well, going back to the groping thing, well, I understand, like, I feel like if someone's crowd surfing, you kind of have to be okay with, like, hands touching you where, like, you normally wouldn't. But it's like, would someone squeeze or something like that? Like, I don't know. Would someone, like, take it too far?
Well, I feel like some people may think, like, can I get away with it?
Yeah.
It's like,
because, so many people are holding you up. Like, how are you going to call out the person?
Yeah. And so it's like, if it's like, this really hot girl wearing this kind of, like, exposing outfit or whatever. It doesn't even have to be any, like, it could just be, like, a girl, but let's say like they were just like really hot, they were in this sexy outfit, and it's like, like that's like enticing or tantalizing to them, so like I'll just get away with it, no big deal, because she's never gonna know who it was, which sucks, but I feel like that definitely is like a possibility and something that goes through some types of people's heads.
We gotta go to another show, interview the girls after they crowd surf.
That would be a fantastic idea. I would love to do that.
One girl got escorted out. Not escorted, but she got help to go out. She like passed out or something.
I didn't.
There was a girl that like at first it looked like security was like dragging her away. Like she was causing issues and they were like, all right, you got to go. But it seemed like she was like losing consciousness and he was like dragging her away because she couldn't stand on her own feet. All of security swarmed to her though to like help her outside, get some quiet and some fresh air.
Yeah, I don't know what it was like at this one because again, this venue was a lot bigger. But when I was in Memphis at Growlers, it's a very small room and it gets full really quickly and you're basically really stacked on top of each other. And there were a couple moments where I was there where, you know, the crowd would get really hype because they were also, one of the bands was like filming a music video there and everyone was kind of rushing to the front to try to get in it. And I could like feel the air being squeezed out of me and I was like, okay, I gotta get out of this crowd because I'm not having a great time. So it might have been something like that. I don't know. But
I mean, like, I don't
at least security helped her.
Yeah, I don't think like ambulance had to show up, so it wasn't like a medical emergency, but it could have turned into something like that maybe.
Yeah.
But us lazy people in the back were all noticing it, and so we kept turning our heads to the back door like, is she okay? What happened? You know? But it's cool. I will say, all in all at this concert, Joseph and I were very short, and you, but like you were not with us. We were down on the floor. We're walking around like amongst giants. I told Joseph, I really feel like we are living the Hobbit life that I've always dreamed of. And I didn't, your face, not really, but like just, you know, having like second breakfast, 11 Z's. You know, I'm thinking of all the meals, like the Hobbit way. Anyways, I'm getting off track.
We ate second breakfast at this.
But
our feet got really hairy. We don't wear shoes anymore.
Shut up. Everyone was like generally at least a foot taller than us.
Yeah.
A whole 12 inches. But they were all kind, being like, oh, can you see? And for the most part, I had a great
they asked you if you could see?
Yeah. A couple different
angles. There was like two guys. There was two guys at the beginning wearing Hawaiian shirts that were
matching Hawaiian
very
shirts.
nice and trying to be considerate. Everyone else after those two guys, because they like left to like be more in the pit or closer to the pit.
Yeah.
Once they left, no one else cared. But those guys were nice.
But then we figured out like the sweet spot was like, okay, you've got like packed in crowd, but then if you're kind of farther back, you can stand back like, you know, 3 feet, 5 feet or so, and you can see over the heads because you're far enough back with nobody in between you and like the last row with quotations. So you could see up much better. So for most part, I feel like after those two guys left, the crowd kind of got packed in more, but also we might have scooted back some, so there was that distance that allowed us to be able to see better. At least I had a good view the whole time, but maybe I'm just really good at positioning myself in between different heads.
Well, like, you can find windows, but like when it's really packed, it's kind of hard to.
I ran into this issue at Zydeco in Birmingham where I was close-ish to the front, but there's still like a phalanx of 6 foot tall men in front of me, and I had to like crane my neck just to be able to see, and I couldn't even see that well, and my neck started hurting like by the end of the night while I was there, which was that was a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. But you know, hopefully I don't run into this problem when I'm there in like a couple of weeks, because I'll be on the floor and I'm just gonna have to make sure I get there very early.
Someone's gonna think you're a baby.
But I don't.
They're gonna be looking from the balcony.
Like, who the frick brought this toddler to the show?
But I'm hoping the people in the front will be respectful and let me be in the front
side, kind of like not in the middle front, but like to the side.
Yeah,
in the front. That would be good. And make sure you've got whatever like water or food you want early on, because I feel like it's hard to get out from the front because there's just a lot. It's very dense.
I'm really gonna have to make sure I like get the water. There.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, because then no.
Why not?
That's rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't have to literally do that, but I feel like you can.
I mean, like, I can like slither my way between people. Like, I've done that before, but you know, I'm not throwing elbows, you know? Because I mean, I feel like if people see me, they see how short I am. They're probably just gonna let me pass, because they could still see like over me, you know?
Yeah. But yeah.
Also, I'm just so cute.
Yes.
They can't resist.
That's like, oh. I'm sorry, madam. madam. My lady. But no, overall with the concert, 10 out of 10, it was good. I think even after, like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to listen to this genre of music, but I can never turn down or deny like a good performance and good sound. And they did have a good sound, even though it's not like my cup of tea per se. I did thoroughly enjoy myself and the experience.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah, and I only the very last band, I put in my earplugs just for a little bit because I was like, my head's kind of hurting now, and maybe it's just so much after like so many hours. But I didn't get to keep them in, or I didn't keep them in because for some reason it felt like certain sounds were canceling out other sounds with the type of earplugs I had.
Because you had the foam ones, right?
Yeah, I had the foam ones, and so like I couldn't hear, like I would see someone's mouth moving and a guitar playing at the same time, and I would only hear the guitar. Like I couldn't hear the voice, or vice versa. I would only hear a voice and no like
guitar.
Yeah, it was very weird. I've not had that happen before, but maybe it's just like how they have it hooked up in the sequences and everything. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, it was good. And you didn't, Joseph, you didn't wear your earplugs at all.
Yeah, you said they weren't that loud, which is crazy.
No, yeah, they weren't. Compared to Witch Cake, the band that my coworker is in, it was in a different space being at Martin's downtown. Like, it's a much smaller space and a lot of amps for one space. It was very loud. And the earplugs actually helped cancel out the reverb, I guess.
Yeah.
And whereas in this space, it was much bigger, and the sound had more
space for the sound to travel,
and it could absorb and
more
all the
meat to absorb. The sound.
Yeah, and so it really didn't hurt, and I think at the very end I just had to put them in because of the stimulation from it all. I was like, it's a little too much.
Yeah, I kept mine in the whole time because I felt like if I took them out, I was gonna go deaf. You know? So I didn't even try to see if I could like listen without them.
Yeah,
because I think the next biggest venue that I've been in was the Joy Theater, which is in New Orleans, and it has like a decent size like floor area, but also like a balcony with like theater seating. And I'm pretty sure that one was bigger, but I was able to not wear my earplugs there, but I don't anywhere else I've been, I haven't been able to do that. But again, I also have different earplugs. Mine are like soft silicone with like a filter in it.
Yeah, the reusable kind. Yeah.
Very good investment, by the way. Anyone out there trying to get them some earplugs for, concerts or anything like that, or sleeping when someone snores like a lawnmower.
Didn't work.
Exactly. They didn't work.
But
so
that's
then your earplugs are trash.
Okay.
Or at least good for music, bad for snoring.
No, tip. Yeah. Okay, Aaron's earplugs are really good for music and concerts. My foam earplugs are really good for people like Joseph.
To block out all noise. Because for mine, you still want to hear some sounds.
Yeah. Mine, I want to block out everything so it's white noise.
Yeah. But the earplugs that I have, they're called Eargasm. They are a little on the expensive side.
You got like an Amazon affiliate link? Why are we sponsored by these?
Link it in the description below.
They're actually really good earplugs. That's why I want to plug them. They are like $38. So
they're the sponsor of this excerpt.
My brief thoughts about August Burns Red. I wasn't really super into them ever. The only album of theirs that I listened to was Rescue and Restore, and that was like maybe started listening to them like 2018, and I thought that album was really good. I don't know if that would be considered their like biggest album, but I will say this: they do have a very consistent sound, which some people think is a bad thing because they never switch it up. But some people think it's a good thing because there's some other bands that have switched up their sound to be more radio friendly, and they get like smashed for it. So it's a blessing and a curse. Like if I hear I don't want to say this because it does sound kind of mean, but if you hear one August Burns Red song, you've heard like 20 of them.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's why I kept getting in a trance and like zoning out, because it just it was all very like a certain pattern. Well, no, like it could have just been a repeating pattern of like, I guess, music. I mean, I couldn't understand any of the words, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But like maybe just the patterning of all the sounds and music coming together. It's just, it was almost like soothing in a way of just, it was very, very loud. So I wouldn't say soothing to go to sleep to, but just my brain could expect what was next. Yeah. And it made me tune out almost. Yeah. So
it's not an album. It's a 2-hour single.
Absolutely. I think I didn't know when it stopped and when it ended until he would talk for 5 minutes in between or something. I was like, I don't know how many songs you have played. He said 2 more. And I was like, I don't know how many 2 more are, but I am tired. Like I was getting tired. Yeah. But we held out.
You waddle up on stage. You tug on his shirt. You're like, please, sir, can you end the concert?
Can you please end it?
The one thing that I greatly enjoyed is that they played this song called Spirit Breaker, which you probably don't really know which one that was, but it's the one that had like a spoken word segment near the end.
Okay.
And I love that song so much. It's on Rescue and Restore, and every time I listen to it, it gives me goosebumps. So that was definitely a transcendental experience. Being able to like talk along to the spoken word segment with everybody else, that was really nice. It was a very nice experience. Yeah. So yeah, I greatly enjoyed that.
Yeah. I liked all the solos, like different like guitar or drum solos.
Yeah, the drummer is so good. I don't know. I was not paying attention before, but
so good.
And their drum setup is kind of unique because I don't know if you guys remember, but they had 2 bass drums instead of just one, but with 2. Because the way that a lot of these bands will do it is that they'll have one bass drum, like normal, like the one that's, you know, the big circle on the floor. And they'll have drum pedals that aren't just like the one little thing, but it's 2 of them, and they'll have like 2 foot pedals. But I guess what they have with their setup is they have 2 bass drums, and I don't know if like they're tuned differently or what. I don't know, like, you know, what really goes into that. I know you can tune drums to be a certain way, but I don't know if they're they're called kick drums. I don't know why I call them bass. Why they're kick drums, why they had 2 of them. But I thought that was really unique, and also the drummer was really good. Yeah. So, also, fun fact, August Burns Red tried to go on Family Feud, but they couldn't. They had a whole application and everything.
I love that, actually. Why? I love Family Feud.
Because they have, like, Celebrity Family Feud. Like, some drag queens went on there with RuPaul one time.
They've done so many different celebrity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why couldn't they?
I don't know. I guess they just weren't selected.
Because I guess they had to audition for it.
No, they're not famous enough.
But I think their audition video is still out there somewhere. I thought that was really fun that they did that. But they're from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, with all the Amish folks. And that's them. How long have we been going for? 47 minutes.
All right, we gotta wrap it up.
Josie? I already did the outro in.
Yeah, this is just a splice or something.
Yeah.
How would you rate the concert in your experience?
Yeah, how would you rate it? Okay, I'll go first. So for me, I'm trying to set the tone here. For me, of the concerts that I've been to, honestly, I think all of them are 10 out of 10 because I've never been to a concert where I didn't have fun. So that might not be the best rating, but I'll give it a 10 out of 10 because I had a blast.
Bro. If you're trying to set the tone, it's like let the person, I don't know, who cares the least go first.
Well, that's not setting the tone, but okay.
Is it? Okay.
She's trying to be the hype man.
I don't know.
Okay. I would say out of all the concerts I've been to, it's not my favorite or the best I've been to because I think the one in New Orleans that we went to with Proxima Parada just hit different, a different emotional level for me that I connected with. But non-biased and all of that, like it was just overall very enjoyable. And to somebody who cares about that kind of music, 10 out of 10 for that. Yeah. I think it was just a great experience. And
yeah.
I feel like
there's really nothing like it.
There's nothing like it. I don't know if I'd go again to one like anytime soon because it's not like something like I crave to, because they're not my favorite bands to, you know, it's not something I'm like seeking out to go listen to, but like,
it's good that you got to experience it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll give it a 32 out of 40.
Why are you doing fractions?
Aaron knows why.
I know too. I listen.
32
out of 40. Wow.
How does that convert? Please tell us.
I won't tell.
You gotta simplify that fraction.
You gotta be smart.
How many stars is that?
Like a 90 out of 100.
You gotta be smart to know what my review is.
All right.
Well, not even
pop quiz.
A B minus?
Pop quiz listeners.
No, it's a B minus. It's roughly a B minus.
You'll convert my math. I'll change the fraction again.
Do it. It's a B minus though. Which isn't bad. That's still
64
passing.
out of 80.
Oh my god, I don't.
Would you do it again?
For free, yeah.
Like if they came to Jackson, would you?
They would never come to Jackson. But in this hypothetical, if they did,
if they did, and it was like downtown, and it's like $10 to go. I don't know, like $10 to get in. Because we did that at Martin's, $10 to get in. Okay,
it's $12.
$12, whatever. Okay, do you get in? Would you?
Maybe.
There you go. Okay, yeah, that's a yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that will conclude this segment of the pod, and now we will commence with the outro.
Bye.
On that note.
On that note.
I think we went way longer than I wanted to, but...
Probably.
Yeah.
But we may or may not see you in another part after
there may be
Sunday.
This podcast may be even longer than we're ending it right now. Unless you like well, no, you should end it and then I don't know. Never mind. It's your call. I don't know what to do. Maybe the ending will still be at the ending, maybe if you put it there, but maybe you do the outro and then there's the post concert. We shall see.
We certainly shall see. This has been the 37th episode of the Not Just Arin podcast. You can find us on all major podcast platforms. That is Google, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. And I actually got an email from Anchor today saying that they're changing their name to like Spotify for podcasts. So I guess Spotify for podcasts, or I guess just Spotify. I don't know. I haven't read the email, so I don't know what's going on there. What else? You can follow us at Not Just Arin Pod on Twitter and Instagram. To discuss all things Not Just Arin, you can use the hashtag NJAPod. And who are we sponsored by?
I don't know, Nakey Jakey.
You couldn't even say Last Stand Media?
I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever I want.
Why Nakey Jakey? That was so random.
I listened to a lot of his music like yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's just on my mind. I wish he made more content. Yeah.
Well, Unclothed Jacob, thank you for your financial contribution to the Not Just Arin podcast. We cannot do it without financial contributions like yours. And we may or may not see you after this or before this. However, I decide to edit this when I get to editing it.